Alright, so I went and did some shopping, and these bolts I'm using, see if we can get it out in the sun here. They are M6 by 100 by 1 by 30. You can see that right there. I'm trying to get it. It's so windy out here. So basically the arm, let me see if I can zoom out. There you go, you can kind of see. So there's two valves right here, and I'm assuming this is for, you know, to turn it to the right, and this one's turn it to the left. And then the third one, there's just one back here for this valve. Hopefully you can see that. It's awful sunny out and windy. But this is the, I'm assuming this valve goes down to bring the arm, or down to bring the arm in, and pull it up to push the arm out. So there's only 3 valves in here. There's this one, and then this one in the back, and there's not another spot for the third. So like there's not 2 valves for to bring the arm in left and right, or back and forth. So so what I did was I found the bolts. They're like I said, M6 130. I also bought me some M6 bolts with the bolt head on it, but the as you can see right there, I used the what do you call those, castle heads, or socket head, I'm sorry, socket head. But as you can see on this one, it's almost flush with this, the existing bolt. I don't know if they cut this bolt or shaved it, or had a certain kind of bolt head to go through that little swivel, because all this little swivel is, as you can see, is just a what do you call these? I can't remember what you call these, but anyway, as you can see, the head is sticking out. I can't hardly see. The sun is like right behind me, and so socket head bolt with a 30, and I wanted to make sure it had enough length on it coming out. Actually, this is probably, you know, probably 5-6 millimeters too long, but this is the bolts it uses. They're a nylon lock nut, and so basically what I did was, they have this other one. They have the bolt run through. They have a nut, and then they have another nut on the back side. So I've got 2 nuts, and I've got 1 nut already in there. Got 1 nut in there already, and then I'm going to put this other nut here, and it's going to stick out a little bit more, but this one stays here. Now if I was doing this on this replacing these bolts, I'd probably have to have one of these bolts and shave the head down a little bit, so it'd be a little bit more flush, because there's not much room once you get all these tied together, because this will bolt in there into that hole right there. So that's how it kind of works. So that way, when you pull back, it pushes this down. You pull up, pull forward, it pulls it up. So I got that just snug, and then I got this bolt in there really tight on this joint here. And I'm going to put this other bolt, this other nut right here on this to tie it in, and then I'll put the handle on it and see what happens. So I'll be right back, because I don't have my tripod with me. It's too windy today. Well, this is not lining up exactly like it needs to be with this hole right here. It wants to be about right here in the middle where it lines up, and because this was already broke, so I don't have any reference to where you know, this is the whole, this turnbuckle or this heim joint was in. So I had to unscrew this screw out. Hopefully you can hear me, the wind is something fierce. So if I loosen this up, because it screws into the post of this valve. This bolt does, the M6. And if I tighten it up where I had it, so now I put the lock nut on the end, well, this thing is at an angle. It was like that. And this plate is flat, so it's not going to line up. So I had to loosen it to maybe I can get it started. And then what I'll do is I will tighten that bolt up there, if you can see, that bolt there, tighten it in, and then put the lock nut on the end of it. Just so I can get this bolt in here, because if that bolt's not in there, it's going in crooked. This is probably aluminum. I don't want to strip the threads out because I started on it and then it was like, oh, it felt really, really tight, so I stopped. So I'm going to loosen this bolt up a little bit more. Trying to get zoomed out here a little bit. So I'm going to loosen this bolt up a little bit more, bring it out this way, and then put this nut, because all it is another of these little castle bolts. Just, you know, the head sits in there, and then this is where the hand lever connects to. So I'm going to bring this out and tighten this up and see if I can get this closer in so I can tighten it up, and that way it doesn't come loose, because that's a lot of stress. A lot of stress on that one bolt back there. If that was in the middle, it would line up perfectly, but they're in a three section, two in the front and one on the back. And I thought about putting it on the back side on this nut, on this hole here, turning this around and putting it on this side, but it's going to be over here. It's going to be too far over to the left of this hole. So this is the only way it's got to go. But like I said, if I tighten it up and put it on there, about middle of this bracket, this plate here, is where this hole lines up. This lines up. So hopefully you can see all that. I can't hardly see it. The sun's right behind me. But so I'm going to loosen this up some more, get this bolt in here, get it kind of snug, and then see if I can tighten this up to where I can put the lock nut on the end of that. So I'll be back in just a second. Well, I got it in there, but I don't like it. I don't know if you can see how much, and there's only a little bit of threads in this bolt going across. Sorry I can't focus on this because of the glare, but this thing is just barely in there. I snugged that up, and you can see how up and down it is. It's perfectly up and down straight, but into this valve here, there's just, I can't even feel it. It's just like 2 or 3 threads left in that. I don't like that sitting there like that. I tried to turn that bolt in to, you know, this bolt going across, to turn it in to get it a little bit more into this valve body here, but this design is not great. I'm trying to think of something I can do to, I mean, I can move this nut over to here, but I don't have anything over here to keep it from, you know, working its way out. Hopefully you can see all that, because it's just terrible glare. But I don't have any longer bolts. All they had was 30 mil, which is like 1.25 inches, I think it is, or something like that. But I don't have any longer bolts, but that's still going to be a lot of, I mean, it works. It moves it. You know, it moves that valve, as you can see. But I just don't think, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm gonna have to take the other side off, take this one off, and look at how this one is. So, because this is very, I don't like it, because that bolt is like maybe half a thread in this valve, maybe half. I mean, I can't even feel the end of the bolt right here on this side. So, I'm gonna have to take that other side off and look at that and see. So give me a second. Well, how much you can see in there, but it's the same kind of way. They have the long bolts running all the way over. They got two nuts on this side, and then this bolt is actually sticking out on this. Let's see if you can see in there. It's like I said, the glare is terrible, so you have to forgive my photography, videography, whatever. But that bolt is just sticking in there, and the end is what's holding it. And this is a longer bolt than what I could find this morning. I couldn't find longer than, I think it was 30 millimeters. So, and they also have the locking nut at the end here, and then another nut right here to keep this from coming out. But yeah, I don't like that. I really don't. I mean, it's been working. You know, it's been working for over a year now, but I don't know. I don't have any way to put another nut at the end over on the other side. And if this wind would die down, it would be, I could work out here. It's so freaking cold. It's like -20 wind chill. And I have to keep going in. My hands get cold because I can't use my gloves. People in the cold in the north, you know how it is when the wind chill's blowing and you can't do nothing without your hands being free. So I'm just going to, like on this nut here, going into this valve, I'm just going to use what I have for right now till I can find a longer bolt. But I mean, as far as the arm moving, everything's working over there. I haven't fired this thing up yet just to make sure it's all working, but yeah, I don't know. And it's the same kind of bolt too. It's got a socket head on that one, where the other ones are different. They're different type of bolt. They don't have the socket head on them because there's not, I don't know if you can see, there's not much room in between the front valve on the right and, let me see if I can get a better angle here. See, there's not much room down there for the bolts to, like a socket head bolt. You couldn't get them on the front. On the back is fine for the bucket curl. You know, this is the bucket curl. Oh no, this is the up and down, I'm sorry. To bring the whole boom up and down. So, yeah, I'm gonna see those two nuts right there in the middle and see how that bolt is going, and it's longer, it's sticking out more. Let's see if I can hold this. See how long it is. Hopefully you can see that. But I can't get a nut on the other side, on the outside, and it's barely in there. So I need a 40 mil, I'm assuming, bolt to make that work. Crap. It's always something when you can't find the right parts for what you need. I mean, I could order this, but there was a local hardware store and I tried to go to like Lowe's and Home Depot, and they didn't have nothing but 30, so I had to buy them there, and the other place only had like 25 mil, which is an inch long of these socket head bolts. So I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is take a nut, one of those nuts, hopefully you can see, take one of the nuts and put it on the inside of this valve just to kind of hold this in there. I had to snug that up so that way the this palm joint thing would be square up and down, but I want to put a nut on the inside, so I got to take all this apart, put a nut on the inside and snug it down, and hopefully it'll stay in there, because it's not really that much pressure. I mean, I can do it with my fingers, but you know, when you're doing it with the stick, it's a lot easier. Well, I put it on there, but it's sticking just a little bit. Especially when you pull back, it's a little harder to pull back. But hopefully you can see, I put the 2 nuts on. I tightened this turnbuckle up, and I kind of snugged it a little bit till I got the nuts on there. And then I run this, the one on the left, I run that in towards that little turnbuckle or ham joint, and the other one I run it out towards the valve. But I didn't snug it, I just kind of made it run out there, so I have no way to keep that from backing out, maybe, unless this nut here will keep it, the one on the left will keep it from backing out. But it's working. It's a little stiff coming back, but going forward it goes fine, but coming back it's a little stiffer, and it's but you know, when you have the handle on there and you're digging, it's not a big deal. But I'm going to have to find a longer bolt for this, so I'm going to have to come back to this and see. But I'm going to put it all back together, fire this thing up. It'll fire up. It's very cold out, so I'll see if I can get this thing running, and we'll test it out and see. Let me put it all back together, put the arm back on there, and snug everything up. I already checked these bolts on the top. Over on the other side, they were all good and tight. Use my little Hercules here, does a really good job. But yeah, I'm gonna put the stick back in here and put the boot on, and put the covers on, and then see if I can get this thing running here in just a second. So I'll see you in just a second. It's working. It's still cold. I don't wanna rev it up too much, but yeah, it's I don't know. I think that's a weird design, how they have that bolted to that valve. But other than that, let's blade up. Yeah, so everything's functioning like it's supposed to. But I will revisit this when I get find some more longer bolts, probably 35 or maybe a 40 mil bolt. So get over here. So M6 by 1 by 30 is not long enough. You need to get at least a 35 or maybe a 40 if you ever have this problem. So I'm going to get probably about 6, maybe. No, probably a 4-pack or 3-pack or 2-pack, something like that. And just excuse me, just keep them handy just in case that breaks, because that other one broke. It sheared off. I don't know if I don't have it with me, but it sheared off. It seems like it's a lot of undue stress on that valve for it, because you know a lot of times you're using that arm, you know, to bring the bucket back and forth quite a bit. So that's a lot of stress on there on that. But just like the other side, it was the same way, but a longer bolt with the two M6 bolt or nuts on it, just to keep them from moving. It's kind of, those valves are not hard to move. I can understand, you know, but yeah, I don't like the way this one is right now, but at least it's functioning now. I can actually use it, because before I couldn't do anything but just use the blade, and the blade is not very fast, like picking up and going down. It's not very fast for that, so but anyway, it's going now. This arm is working. You saw kind of how the valves were, and I still haven't put that third function bar on. I've got it in the house because I'm not going to probably need it yet till I start working on this concrete pad I have here. I've got a lot to clean up with it, but I'm thinking of making this like a little shop area, and maybe putting me in a shipping container right here, so it'll be about 8 feet. So somewhere from here to there will be the edge, and it'll be kind of in line with this. And what I want to do is get me a hammer drill or you know, chisel thing for concrete, and whittle this off, this wall on both ends. There's another end. Leave this wall like they are, but put the shipping container like right up against this. It's not, this is old. This is from probably the 40s or the 50s, this concrete pad. So it's only probably about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches deep. It's not reinforced probably. It's not, you know, up to standards of today. There's a lot of cracks and broken pieces in it. So what I'm going to try to do eventually when it warms up is clear this off, because I got a bunch of metal in there, and maybe put a layer or two of concrete down. And this is that wall I was telling you about. I need to, because I leveled this side with dirt to make a ramp kind of thing, but this drop off here, if I pull a car or something in here, that drop off is going to be terrible. So I need to get this wall on both ends knocked down, and then grade the land, the dirt on both sides to where it's even with this. So that way I can pull a car in here, have a roof over my head, have two 20-foot storage containers in here, so I can have storage. And because the shed I have my excavator or my skid steer in, I'm going to tear that down. It's just a little low pole barn thing. It's old, the used wood for the posts. It's rotten out. The metal on it's rusting out, got leaks in it. So I'm going to tear that down. But I'm going to build this up, you know, little by little. I thought about getting 2 shipping containers, one over here on this side. But the ground here is probably a good 8 to 10 inches higher than the backside. So I'd have to do a ton of grading in here to get, you know, get it level on both sides, because I would like to have like a little trundle crane running on the insides of the shipping containers. You know, have a little crane with a chain hoist on it, just for doing stuff. And but I don't know. I may just leave this side like it is and put me like 4 6x6 or 8x8 posts, like 4 of them, and then just have it taller and have the roof draining back to this area where the shipping container will be and have the rain run off of there. I want to put gravel down. I want to grade this smoother. You know, I've got all these little plans to do, and the excavator and the little skid steer, I got to get them going so that way I can start on that in the spring, hopefully, if nothing else comes up. But I've actually had a bunch of little jobs helping friends and stuff with this, digging out like trench lines and septic lines, and I helped a buddy of mine a couple of months ago with downspouts, digging a trench for his downspouts so that way they can run them in the back of the yard with this thing. So nothing, I'm not commercial, don't do this for a living, but you know, little jobs to just kind of do stuff and make a little money on the side, doesn't hurt. So anyway, I'm going to warm my hands up, go in the house for a few minutes, and I'm going to go start on my skid steer here. So just hang on just a little bit. That was all it was. The contacts in the contacts in here for some reason didn't work, so I just put them both on one terminal because I never used this thing. I mean, I had it turned it on and off, but it didn't seem to make any difference. So once I hook these up and I put the key on, I have lights and I have displays. And one other thing I did to this thing a couple of weeks ago, this bar goes all the way across here. It was such a pain in the butt to fill this thing up with gas. So what I did was I cut it right there at the edge of this, because there's a bar that goes right across on the inside of this that's attached to this metal frame. There's a bar, so I cut it almost level with that bar. And then I had to change the wheel, and then it just kind of went at an angle, but then it went down. So this bar covered all this up, and I couldn't get the gas can in there. But now, since I've opened this up right here, I can get the gas can in there, put gas in it, no problem, take it out, where as before I had to use a funnel with a flexi thing. It took forever to fill it up. So cutting this piece off, take these two screws out, these two bolts out, take your ignition switch off. You can take your choke off because this piece screws onto this shaft, and then undo that nut and slide it out. And all I did was, like I said, I took this off and I cut it with a grinding wheel off, and then I just threw some paint on it just to protect it, keep it from rusting. So that really opened this up, because it was like down to here, and you could hardly get, you know, gas in there to it. So this, if you have problems with this, put them all on one lug, and then you don't have to even worry about this thing anymore. So it's just two bolts. They're threaded in there. They're 10 millimeter. Stick them in there. These are 13. These bolts, these nuts are 13, and the bolts that go in there are 10s. So got it running now. Shouldn't have any issues with it. I'm going to pull it down there and park it next to the excavator, get it out of the yard, because it's in the grass right now, and I don't, well, not really worried about the grass dying. But anyway, hopefully that helps somebody. Hopefully that explains a little bit about the excavator and the controls. Step away from this thing, but yeah, there you go. I fixed both of them. Like I said, the bolt for the excavator, I'm going to get a longer one, and then for this thing, I'm just going to leave it as is with the with that two wires together, because I never use that cut off. I use the stop, so that should kill any kind of power on it. Because I've noticed I've left the lights on and hit the stop button, the lights go out immediately. So that stop button on top is your cutoff for everything. So If it kills the battery, then I might try to find another one of those, something a little bit better quality than the plastic what it is, you know, maybe one of those like race car cut off switches or something that'll fit in there, hopefully. But other than that, yeah, this thing is good to go now. Shouldn't have any problem starting it. It took about 3 or 4 minutes of cranking on it because it's so cold out here today, but I got it running finally, so I'm just going to let it sit here and run for about 5 or 10 more minutes, let it warm up really good, and then I'm going to pull it back down there to the excavator. So yeah, all right, so there you go. That's my fixes for today. And if anybody has any questions or anything or comments or anything, just leave them down below. Thank you. Have a good day.